How's it going, everybody? Thank you all very much for watching. I always appreciate you. I'm Orlando Ruiz Jr. Welcome to another classic movie review. We're in the middle of February now, so in continuation with our celebration of Black History Month and talking about black-led films all month long, right now I want to talk about a little romantic drama from 1993, John Singleton's follow-up to his debut film 1991's Boys in the Hood. Right now I'm talking about 1993's Poetic Justice. This film stars Janet Jackson, one of the greatest pop music artists of all time, and co-stars the late great Tupac Shakur, who undeniably was one of the greatest and most influential rap artists of all time. And the two of them together make movie magic, as they do have a real spark and chemistry all throughout this film. You also have Joe Torre in there, Regina King. You'll see faces like Michael Rappaport, Tone Loc. You'll see Tyra Farrell. Also, you got Billy Zane and Lori Petty, who pop up in there for a moment. And yeah, some more familiar faces in there. I believe Maya Angelou has a cameo in this movie in a small part. This film has themes of loss, grief, tragedy, also friendship, love, hope. You have two great performances from our two lead actors. This was only Tupac's second starring role after his first starring role in 1992's Juice. But I believe his first appearance in the movie was in 1991's Nothing But Trouble, where he appeared with the band that he was with at the time, Digital Underground. But yeah, he does a great job in this movie for only his third time being in a movie in his second starring role. So Janet plays the character of Justice, a young woman living in South Los Angeles who has tragically bad luck with guys in the romance department. And she works at the salon with her friend Regina King, Keisha, and she also has a boss played by Tyra Farrell, who was Doughboy's mom in Boys in the Hood, and she was also in White Men Can't Jump as Wesley Snipes' wife in that movie. Lucky has a cousin out there in Oakland who's also really into music, and he's trying to go visit while he's out there. And Justice and Keisha have this thing for their job, some kind of a hair show that coincidentally is also taking place out there in Oakland. And so Chicago is with Keisha, and he calls her up and asks her if she wants to go on the little trip, and asks if she has a girlfriend. And so of course she's going to hit up her friend Justice to be the girl that goes along. At first, Justice is very reluctant to go on the road trip to Oakland with them, because the first time that she met Lucky, when he dropped by one time in his uniform at the hair salon, she wasn't all that impressed. When they first get underway on their trip, you can definitely feel some tension between the two of them, but you can also feel that spark, that bit of chemistry that was there in the very first scene we see them in at the early parts of the movie. They're being kind of hostile at first and just showing kind of signs of like disrespect towards each other, but they kind of like each other even though they don't want to admit it. And so it's rough going at first, and then as the road trip continues, everybody kind of seems to learn more about each other. Even though Justice and Keisha, Regina King's character, are really good friends, Justice has an issue with Keisha's drinking problem because her mom used to be an alcoholic, Justice's mom. And so she kind of has a problem with that during the trip, and there's all this constant little bickering between Keisha and her man Chicago. This guy won't put down the damn comb. He's constantly combing the back of his head, back of his fade, because, you know, he thinks he's like God's gift to women and all that. And so, yeah, they have their little issues during the trip. And slowly but surely, Tupac's character Lucky begins to warm up to Justice and vice versa. They stop at this family barbecue, crash somebody else's family barbecue, and just kind of blend in. That's a pretty funny moment in the film. A little bit of drama happens in that scene where Keisha oversteps her bounds, and you know, she gets a little tipsy, and so she kind of acts up and stuff. I won't get into details. You have to watch the movie to see the details. But yeah, after that happens, it only gets a little bit worse for everybody, as everybody that thinks they're friends slowly begins to reveal themselves to who they really are, and you get to see who's really friends and who's not. So there are so many things to love about this movie, at least for me. I really dig the dialogue all throughout this movie. It sounds very realistic in terms of movie dialogue. I really think the characters are memorable, and I really enjoy the soundtrack. There are some great tracks in this movie. You have some Tony Tone, you have some Usher, you have some Naughty by Nature. You also have some Stevie Wonder in there, a bit of Janet's music, a little bit of Tupac's music snuck in there for good measure. Now, if I have any kind of a gripe with this movie in terms of a nitpick, I do have one. It's that it only takes 5.5 hours to drive from LA to Oakland, and they make it feel like it takes forever in this movie. And I think it's because they stop a bunch of times. They stop many times for, you know, certain reasons. They create certain situations so that they have reasons to stop. On rewatches, whenever I watch this movie, that's my one hang up, is why are you guys stopping? Just keep going. You'll get to Oakland a lot quicker. And, you know, they should have gotten there a lot sooner than they do in the movie. The reasons for that I don't want to give away because that's another spoiler. But yeah, if they would only just kept going with all these little stops and detours, thing that happens at the end that's, you know, something that could have been avoided maybe. And so yeah, all those detours and stops, every time I rewatch the movie, you know, I just kind of think to myself, man, you guys should just kept going. I know you guys are having some problem and some drama in the back of the truck with Isha and Chicago having this bickering every now and then, and sometimes they just got to stop the truck just so they can all cool down and stuff. And I got to say, Janet Jackson is excellent in this movie. I think she gives a terrific performance. I haven't seen everything that she's ever been in, but I have seen some of the few films that she was in, and I have seen some episodes of Good Times from back in the day that she was in as Penny. That's a show that ran from 1974 to 79 back in the day. Great, great old school sitcom from the 70s. And Tupac Shakur as an actor, very, very good actor when it comes to the kind of roles that he played when it comes to like Juice, or even the role that he plays in Above the Rim. He plays these tough guys, these tough street guys, but in this, there's definitely a sensitive side to him. You definitely see the versatility there. There are some tender moments. There's a moment where Tupac's character and Janet's character are sitting down, looking at a beach. They have a blanket around them, and she, you know, gets a little bit more intimate with him because she's opening up with him. And, you know, there's another great moment where she cleans his nails because she keeps talking about how his nails are filthy, and, you know, it's kind of a hang-up for her, and I'm sure it is for a lot of ladies. This is a very well-written, very well-acted, and very well-directed film. If only they didn't stop so many damn times on this road trip, they could have gotten to Oakland so much sooner. But again, that's my only hang-up. I do enjoy this movie. I enjoy the characters. They're very memorable characters. I enjoy the dialogue. Growing up in the 90s, you heard people talk like this all throughout the hood if you ever, you know, been to the hood. And so it's really fun for me to revisit this kind of a thing and just kind of have a flashback to what it was like back in the day with, you know, the fashion and the music and the lingo. I'm a child of the 80s and 90s, and so this is a kind of a nostalgic watch for me. But I enjoy this movie. I'm not really big into mushy, gushy romance movies, but when they're made in a certain way that gets me on board, you know, I'm going to be on board, which means they did a good job. John Singleton did a great job, and it's a shame that he's not making movies anymore. You know, he passed away some years ago, but he was a great filmmaker, and this is another great movie on his resume. 1993's Poetic Justice from writer-director John Singleton. I give it 3.5 stars. It's definitely a hood romance film that you should check out. It is a classic of the 90s, and I do recommend it. If you want to find it on streaming, I'm sure you can, but you guys know me. I'm a hard copy kind of guy. Here's my copy of the film on Blu-ray, as you can see there. This is the original poster, which is always cool to have that when you get a case for a movie. And as you can see there, the beautiful Janet Jackson, the talented Janet Jackson. And yeah, great film. Check it out. Poetic Justice. Highly recommend. Thank you all very much for watching this classic movie review. I always appreciate it. If you're into movies, if you're into classics, if you're into this kind of thing, and if you're new to the channel, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications on more movie reviews from me coming out very soon. If you're a returning viewer, thank you very much for all your support and all your reviews. I always appreciate it. And please don't forget to comment, share, like, always helps out the channel. And please look out for more classic movie reviews, and we'll continue to celebrate Black History Month for the rest of the month of February. Everybody take care of each other. Peace out. Till next time. God bless.